I lost my legs to save Ethan. We've been married for 3 years. During that time, he let his friends and family insult me. I confronted him, but he just pressed his temple impatiently. They're just stating facts. I didn't beg you to save me back then. No one asked if I wanted it or not. All my youthful admiration turned to ashes in that moment. That night, I laced his milk with sleeping pills. When he was asleep, I cut off his legs. I held him as he screamed in pain. When I opened my eyes again, I had traveled back to 3 years ago, before the accident happened. Ethan is amazing for sticking with a cripple for 3 years. Bro, you don't get it. Maybe Ethan's into some kinky stuff, and this cripple rocks in bed. I think Jane is manipulative, using one leg to tie Ethan down for life. Laughter came from the hotel room. I stood outside, clenching my fists. The laughter stopped, and Ethan's deep voice came, "That's enough." Someone pretended to be surprised. "No way, you can't actually love that cripple, can you?" After a silence, I heard him say, "How could I? I mean, I don't have any weird kinks. It's annoying seeing a cripple every day. If not for 3 years ago. What are you doing here?" The door opened, and everyone looked at me with ridicule and pity, but no surprise. Ethan had a moment of panic and guilt. He walked to me in big strides, full of blame in his tone. "Don't you know your own situation? Why come here?" I sat in my wheelchair, locking eyes with him, and silently raised my phone. "You told me to come. An hour ago, Ethan texted me saying he was drunk and needed me to pick him up." Ethan pushed me into the room, closing his eyes with a sigh. "Happy now?" The guys who had just mocked me raised their hands, laughing. "Sorry, we were just joking, wanted to see how much you care about Ethan." They said the text was sent using Ethan's phone to prove that I loved him. Those guys didn't hide the disdain in their voices. I looked at Ethan in confusion. He seemed to have known already. "I didn't know you'd actually come." He saw my thoughts and pressed his temple wearily. "Think about it. Even if I was drunk, are drivers or friends not able to drive me home? What could you do?" I followed his gaze to my legs. "Do what?" "Probably rush out in a panic to get a taxi, bothering the driver to carry me inside." Now that I think about it, I was really stupid. Eager to be a joke in their eyes. "Since there's nothing, I'll go back now." I lowered my head and wheeled myself out. Don't know who stuck their foot out and blocked my way. "Don't leave so fast, Jane. Can't go without having a drink." Someone handed me a drink, but I'm allergic to alcohol. I looked at Ethan again. He chose to stay silent. Facing the room full of eager eyes, I silently took the glass. "As expected of Jane," he exclaimed, because I threw the drink in his face. "What the hell?" I turned on the electric mode of the wheelchair and ran over the foot. Blocking my way behind me were voices cursing at me, but I didn't listen. I considerately closed the door of the room for them. Ethan caught up and started scolding me. "Jane, don't be too much. They're all my friends." He reached out to grab me, but I blocked him. "They're your friends, but I'm your wife. You protect your friends but ignore when your wife is insulted?" Ethan pursed his lips, his guilty but stubborn look. I suddenly felt meaningless, wheeling myself towards the main door. When I reached the entrance, he chased after me again. They can be a bit much, but it's all true. I didn't want to listen to his nonsense. Rubbing my wet eyes, I tried to keep my voice calm. "Let's get a divorce." Ethan froze, instinctively rejecting. "No, we can't get divorced." I looked at him in confusion. "Why?" I heard it myself. "You don't like me." In the past, I could fool myself, thinking that although his friends didn't accept me, he loved me, and that was enough. Today, hearing those words myself, I realized how ridiculous I was. The night wind was a bit cold. Ethan took off his jacket and put it on my legs. "It's my fault. Those were just drunken words, don't believe them. We won't divorce." Ethan's minty scent surrounded me, and I couldn't hold back my tears. He pushed my wheelchair through the crowded street. "I'll take you home." He pushed me, walking slowly on the street at night. He must have been lost in thought, not noticing the hole ahead. I reminded him, and after an apology, silence returned. I opened my mouth slightly. I hope you know, if you find it difficult, or if you don't love me, we can get divorced. I've liked Ethan for 10 years, but it doesn't mean I'll cling to him. Ethan spoke, unhappy. I said we won't divorce, Jane. I closed my eyes, recalling the memories. 3 years ago, when the lab ceiling collapsed, I instinctively pushed Ethan out of the way. I saved him, but I got hit and lost consciousness. That day, I had planned to confess my feelings to him, to end my 7-year secret crush. When I woke up, the first thing I saw was Ethan's red eyes. Jane, are you insane? Who told you to meddle? I opened my mouth, finding my throat painfully dry. I wanted to tell him it's okay, because I liked him and wanted to repay his family. My parents passed away when I was very young. Over the years, without his family's help, would have had a tough life. I tried to get out of bed to get water, only to realize I couldn't feel my legs. Ethan's guilt deepened. He held my hand. I'll be your legs from now on. Jane, let's get married. I admit, I was blinded by happiness at that moment. Okay. Ethan, I've liked you for 7 years. Ethan held my hand tightly without speaking. I subconsciously ignored the hint of resentment in his eyes. Ethan was already gone when I woke up in the morning. There was warm milk on the nightstand. Work is busy lately, don't wait for me for dinner. I took a sip of milk. It was sweet. But I never liked sweet milk. There were loud bangs outside the door, followed by a shout, "Morning." It was Ethan's cousin, Daisy. I sighed deeply, thinking she was really a big troublemaker. Daisy wrapped her arm around me affectionately, but her eyes were full of sarcasm. You really know how to give my brother trouble, huh? Last night's party had several important connections my brother needed. Your outburst really messed things up for him. So what are you going to do about it? I looked at Daisy calmly. You can get Ethan to divorce me. After the thrill of happiness faded, I occasionally sensed Ethan's frustration too. He always kept a slight distance from me. His friends didn't initially treat me that way. I understood they were just voicing what Ethan couldn't. So I had said more than once, if it was because of gratitude for saving his life, there was no need we could divorce. But he never agreed. Daisy sneered, you don't actually think my brother won't divorce you because he likes you, do you? She forcibly dragged me into the wheelchair. I struggled, but it was no use. What could a cripple do? She laughed softly near my ear. Come on, I'll show you something interesting. The interesting thing Daisy mentioned was Ethan on a date with another girl. Through the window of a couple's restaurant, I could see Ethan fixing the girl's hair. His eyes were filled with love. Daisy pouted, see? That's the girl my brother really likes. I didn't understand. Then why doesn't he divorce me? I'm not the one clinging to him. Daisy said angrily, because you used saving his life to blackmail him. If he divorces you, people will see him as ungrateful. Stop pretending to be noble. Wasn't this all part of your plan? I couldn't understand why everyone thought I saved Ethan with ulterior motives. I only lost my legs, but he lost his freedom. The people inside were too engrossed and didn't notice me outside the window. I chuckled, wheeled closer, and lightly tapped the glass. Daisy didn't expect me to do that. Her face stiffened. What are you doing? How amusing. She brought me here but only allowed me to leave heartbroken. It was too late for her to stop me. The two people inside noticed us, shocked and panicked. Ethan quickly appeared in front of me. Jane, listen to me. He didn't know what to say, glaring at Daisy. Who told you to bring her here? Daisy sulked, I was thinking of you too. You and Lily have been in love for years. I stood there dumbfounded. In love for years? Back then, before I confessed, I subtly asked Ethan if he had a girlfriend. He said no, otherwise, I wouldn't have had the courage. Jane, go home first. Ethan scolded Daisy, then called a car for me. Wait. I raised my hand to stop him. I want to talk to the lady inside. Jane. Ethan frowned, clearly unhappy. I gently held his hand. You better listen to me. Or I don't mind shouting, cheater, on the street. I was used to the strange looks over the years, immune to them. The embarrassment would be all theirs. Ethan's frown deepened, but he obviously cared about the person inside. The next moment, he pushed me into the restaurant. Ethan, is this your wife, the one who saved you? The girl seemed to know me. She propped her head with one hand, smiling at me. Hi, I'm Lily, Ethan's first love. Just like everyone else, she acted friendly but was full of malice. Ethan, why don't you take your cousin and sit over there? I want to talk to Jane. With just a few words, she took control. Ethan took Daisy and sat nearby, watching us worriedly. Jane, Lily leisurely stirred her coffee. You know, if it weren't for you, I'd be the one married to Ethan. I didn't know. I told her. I've never seen you in his circle. I didn't know he had a first love. Lily looked up, her eyes somewhat wistful. We had a secret relationship because of my family. Ethan said his family wouldn't approve. Only Daisy silently supported us. We dated in secret for 2 years. Before the accident, we were ready to come clean to our families. But you ruined it. No wonder Daisy hated me when she found out I was marrying Ethan. Was it my fault? I confirmed multiple times whether Ethan had a girlfriend. He chose to hide the truth and then chose to marry me after the earthquake. Lily saw my thoughts and laughed softly. Aren't you curious why he insisted on marrying you? I looked up at her, instinctively feeling the answer wouldn't be good. Because he found your secret love diary, Jane. Lily spoke with a hint of hatred. Of all times, he found it after you lost your legs and while you were unconscious. And his mother saw it too. She was kind-hearted. Our families were old friends and watched us grow up. She asked Ethan, do you like Jane, hoping if we had mutual feelings, we could be together. Ethan thought it was pressure from the elders. I will marry her, he said, abandoning me for what he thought was family pressure. So that's how it was. I remembered how I excitedly confessed my feelings when I found out Ethan wanted to marry me. It was laughable. He could have divorced me, but he didn't. That's what I didn't understand. Lily gave a mocking smile, because you're useful. Ethan is at a crucial moment for his promotion. How would people react if they knew he abandoned the person who saved his life? Jane, you've already made things difficult for him once. Don't do it a second time, okay? So scheming. Who knows if your parents' death wasn't karma? I couldn't hold back. I splashed my coffee in her face. She could say whatever she wanted, but bringing up my late parents crossed the line. Jane, what are you doing? Ethan rushed to shield Lily. I pointed at her, she insulted my parents. Lily was in a mess, tears welling up in her eyes. I was just explaining our past. It's her. Ethan glared at me, full of anger. Apologize. I looked at them for a while and then smiled. Okay. Before I apologize, can I have a word with you? Ethan didn't speak, which meant he agreed. Come closer, it's something I want to tell you alone. He walked over and bent down slightly. I slapped him with all my strength. Divorce. Ethan's face turned completely black. Jane, I told you, we can't divorce. Oh, we can't divorce? So you care that much about your face and reputation. But this time, I was done with sacrificing myself for him, then wait for the lawsuit. I turned my wheelchair to leave but was yanked off it violently. I was thrown to the ground. Ethan's eyes were bloodshot. Divorce? Look at you, a cripple. Who would want you? I stared at him in disbelief, couldn't believe he said that. Am I a cripple by birth? Ethan was furious. Yes. To save me, you're my great benefactor. Did I beg you to save me? Did anyone ask if I wanted it? I'd rather be crippled myself. Do you know how much pressure this guilt has put on me? Do you know how much I've lost because of this favor? He vented about the pressure of owing me half his life. I wish you hadn't saved me. I looked at him dumbfounded, a faint smell mingling in the air. Under the immense humiliation, I lost control. Ethan noticed and quickly placed me back in the wheelchair. Look at yourself. What can you do without me now? He looked at me with disdain, covering me with his jacket. I'll take you back. Calm yourself down. Ethan called a car for me. The driver was a chubby middle-aged woman. He had briefed her in advance, even gave her a little extra, asking her to push me home after reaching. Probably seeing my mood, she made a cheering hand gesture before leaving. Life still has hope. She might have been worried I'd commit suicide. I wouldn't. Because just half an hour ago, I got a message from a stranger. It was a chat screenshot. Ethan, your wife is dead set on divorcing you, huh? Looks like your loving husband persona won't work. No worries though, if one path doesn't work, we'll take another. Remember that other boss I told you about? He loves playing with disabled people. Jane fits the bill, right? Since she's divorcing you anyway, take this chance to catch her in the act, accuse her of cheating. That way, you won't have to take the blame for abandoning your savior. Tomorrow night at 9, don't say I never gave you a chance. The person said a lot, but Ethan's single-word reply, okay, made me utterly hopeless. Cruel. Blaming me for saving him, adding pressure, and now trying to squeeze the last bit of value out of me to pave his way. I don't know who sent me that message, but no matter who, I'm grateful. Jane, I'm back. Ethan returned, reeking of alcohol. He wobbled over and squatted in front of me. I'm sorry. I was a jerk today. Let's not divorce, okay? I looked at him calmly, showing a gentle smile. Okay, really? I nodded, handing him a cup of hot milk. I was wrong too. Drink this, sober up. I booked a ticket to the Maldives for tomorrow. How about we go on a trip together? Ethan first panicked, then looked confused. Tomorrow, let's talk tomorrow. All right. I smiled, giving him the milk, watching him drink it down. The drug took effect quickly. As expected, Ethan fell unconscious. It's truly troublesome when you can't walk. It took me 2 whole hours to saw off his legs. He woke up midway, screaming crazily, forcing me to stuff a towel in his mouth. He shook his head desperately. I comforted him, don't worry. I won't kill you. Just taking your legs. You didn't care for them anyway, so give them to me. He made muffled noises, probably begging. I plastered the chat log to his face. He finally quieted down, leaving only pain and despair. As dawn broke, I finally sawed off those 2 legs. The knife had gone blunt. Ethan passed out several times but woke up again after finishing. I removed the towel from his mouth. He was barely breathing. Jane. Whatever. I stuffed it back in. I didn't want to listen. I realized too late. My life was already ruined the moment I lost my legs. Since he wanted to completely ruin me, I decided to ruin him first. I lit the coal in the room, holding the whimpering him to sleep. Pretty good. At the moment of enlightenment, taking away a beast in human clothing. I didn't expect to open my eyes again. The numbness in my legs made me widen my eyes. I was reborn. Reborn before the accident happened. I jumped up, startling everyone else in the lab. Junior, you alright? I stared at my legs, giving a perfunctory reply. I was back in my 2nd year of grad school. Back then, to be closer to Ethan, I chose the same major, even managed to join the same group. But that accident made me give up my studies. Feeling the strength in my legs, I trembled with excitement. Now it's 1:27 p.m. on May 8th, 10 minutes before the ceiling starts to come loose, and Fally once risked my life to push Ethan aside to save him, ending up trapped under the fallen ceiling myself. Jane, what's wrong? A pair of big hands touched my forehead. It's Ethan. Got a fever? Need me to get you a day off? I instinctively avoided his hand, and his eyes showed a hint of hurt. What? Our strange behavior caught the attention of others. Are you two having a lover's quarrel? Normally, I was always chasing after Ethan. Ethan neither accepted nor rejected me, so everyone jokingly called us a couple. No, he has a girlfriend. We have nothing to do with each other. I quickly denied it. This lifetime, I felt unlucky just being associated with Ethan. Seeing my quick rejection and mentioning his secret girlfriend, Ethan was slightly stunned. In a low voice, he asked, "Jane, is there some kind of misunderstanding between us?" I looked at him and suddenly understood the strange dynamic between us. Ethan had a girlfriend at this moment, yet he still flirted with me ambiguously, not willing to admit it even when I pointed it out. Was he trying to have an exciting affair while still enjoying my affections? So the person I once liked turned out to be a rotten one from the very start. Watch out! A voice shouted, interrupting my thoughts. The ceiling started to fall just like in my past life, with Ethan standing right in the center of it. I was only at the edge of the falling ceiling. In my past life, I ignored my own safety to push Ethan away. This time, I quickly ran away from the danger. "Jane!" Ethan called out in disbelief. The next second, the ceiling fell. Ethan cried out and then passed out. Out of moral obligation, I still called 911 for Ethan. The doctor said Ethan's legs were crippled, and he would be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I barely managed to keep from laughing out loud. "Jane, why? Why didn't you save me?" Ethan woke up, his voice hoarse and tearful, as if I were the ungrateful one you could have pushed me out of the way. I tilted my head. "Ethan, drop the act. I know you're back too." He was asking why I didn't save him, revealing that he was also reborn. Ethan's face flushed with embarrassment. He had intended to gain the moral high ground and make me feel guilty. I sat next to him and gently patted his legs. "Ethan, your legs are ruined. Do you remember what you said to me in our previous life? Did I beg you to save me? Did anyone ask if I was willing? I would rather have been the crippled one myself." I smiled at him. "You didn't want to, right? Now congratulations, you got what you wished for. You don't have to feel guilty because of me. Now, you only lost your legs, but you are upright and don't have to bear any unnecessary responsibilities." Ethan sat there, dumbfounded, his face a mix of emotions. "Jane, I never realized you were such a psycho. Can't you tell the difference between angry words and real ones?" His current look overlapped perfectly with how he brazenly told me in our past life that he didn't need me to save him. If I saved him, he blamed me. If I didn't save him, he still blamed me. Anger surged up in me, and I slapped him. "You know I'm crazy and still dare to talk back? Want to lose your other leg too?" Hearing my words, Ethan suddenly shivered. With too many things happening one after another, he almost forgot how miserably he died in the previous life. I must have lost my mind. I've always disliked women like you. Not being bound this lifetime is actually a good thing. He was desperately trying to save his dignity. 10 minutes later, Daisy rushed in with a worried look on her face. "Ethan." Michael was on a business trip and couldn't come back, leaving her to bear such bad news alone. "Auntie, don't be too sad. At least he's alive. Being alive is good." I symbolically comforted Daisy. She wasn't bad to me in my previous life, but she wasn't all that great either before I married Ethan. She truly treated me like a daughter. But after the marriage, although she genuinely pitied me, her concern couldn't withstand the passage of time and her son's constant sighs. So, when Ethan's cousin bullied me, she chose to turn a blind eye. "Jane, watch your words." Ethan got anxious. He didn't want Daisy to worry, but now he couldn't even turn himself over. "Jane, his father and I are busy. Thank you for taking care of Ethan." Daisy sobbed, holding my hand. "I know you have feelings for Ethan. In this situation." And she started crying again. I understood what she meant. She was worried Ethan would end up alone, just like she once worried about me. I spoke without any reservation. "Auntie, I only see Ethan as a brother. Besides, Ethan has a girlfriend." Daisy looked at Ethan in disbelief. Is what Jane said true? Ethan pressed his lips together. He didn't want to reveal it so soon, but now I forced him to. I added helpfully, I've already notified her to come. I don't want to be a homewrecker. I hope you understand. Just as I finished speaking, Lily, wearing a white dress, appeared at the door. She reacted similarly to Daisy, shocked and in tears. Daisy had met Lily before. She didn't quite like this girl because she had 2 older sisters and a younger brother. Such a family background didn't match with her sons. But given the situation, Daisy couldn't say much and used the excuse of getting some food to leave. Ethan. Lily, with her tear-streaked face, looked immensely pitiful. Ethan avoided her gaze. Jane, you shouldn't have called her. In my condition, how can I? He couldn't finish, as a yellowish stain spread on the bed sheets. Lily instinctively took 2 steps back, a slight trace of disgust in her eyes. Ethan noticed it, and his pride was shattered. Jane. He looked at me with pleading eyes. I remained unmoved. What, you expect me to handle this? Your girlfriend is here. Isn't this more appropriate? After scolding Ethan, I turned to Lily. Lily, I've heard bits and pieces of your love story. If you two are so in love, you're supposed to be together for life. And now, you should start learning how to take care of a disabled person. Under my relentless urging and moral coercion, Lily struggled to help Ethan up. The bathroom door slammed shut, and I didn't miss the look of resentment on Lily's face. I chuckled. When things went south for me, they could indulge in their lofty, unrequited love. In a different situation, under life's pressures, could they still stand firm? After briefly explaining things to Daisy, I left. Ethan had his mom and his girlfriend. He certainly didn't need me hanging around. I lived my life as usual, went to classes as usual. I could walk freely, run freely. The long-lost sense of freedom enchanted me. I heard that Ethan was stubbornly doing rehab every day, but sadly, there was no progress. Daisy contacted me frequently, often expressing her dissatisfaction with Lily. Apparently, Lily didn't take care of Ethan as well as I did. Ethan wanted to get in touch too, but I'd blocked all his contact info. 3 months later, while eating with my team members, I ran into Ethan and Lily. Lily was pushing Ethan towards us, and neither of them looked good. Lily was busy scolding Ethan and didn't notice me. What are you doing here, you cripple? Are you trying to embarrass me? The disdain in her voice sharply contrasted with how gently Ethan used to treat her. It's not surprising Lily got mad. I had quietly investigated. Ethan's so-called romantic love was merely Lily's long-planned scheme. Lily's family background was rough. She hoped to find a man with money and without much intelligence to change her fate. Ethan arrived at just the right time, but unfortunately for her, I snagged him in our previous life. Ethan's face turned red with humiliation. If I didn't come, how would I know what you and your friends say about me? Lily sneered, calling you a cripple, saying you're no longer a man? Are they wrong? Look at you, you even need my help to use the bathroom. What else can you do? If it weren't to escape my family, who would want to be with a cripple like you? Ethan trembled all over. You said what? Lily ignored his murderous glare. If I had known taking care of a cripple was this much trouble, I would have picked another target from the start. Ethan roared, divorce. Well, we haven't had the wedding yet. So, they were already legally married. It seemed Ethan's mother knew her son's situation and didn't allow him to be picky. Lily nonchalantly punched him twice. Divorce? You think I don't want to? Serving you for 3 months makes me want to puke. If it weren't for your damn mother, you'd think I'd want to marry you? The seemingly innocent Lily had transformed into a heartless beast. But someone like her was a perfect match for Ethan. I couldn't hold back and laughed. Finally, they noticed me. Seeing me, Lily quickly got rid of Ethan, who was a hot potato. You're just in time. Take your brother away. Back when Ethan and Lily were secretly dating, he always told Lily I was his sister. Lily gave Ethan a cold look. I'm going back to the party. Don't cause any more trouble. Without a backward glance, Lily left, leaving Ethan and me to face each other. What he's going through now is exactly what I went through back then. Ethan, do you remember how your friends talked about me back then? Ethan turned his head away, his body trembling slightly. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I interrupted him. You knew everything. You just didn't care because it wasn't happening to you. Alright, don't be upset. In my opinion, Lily's still quite good to you. She just scolds you a bit but didn't hand you over to some old pervert, right? I meant to comfort him, but his face grew paler. No, Jane, let me explain. I never intended to really hurt you. I had everything arranged. I placed sleeping incense in the room so he'd pass out before doing anything to you. The next day, we could just pretend. He passionately explained until he saw my icy, cold stare. Actually, I had started to fall for you by then. I hit him hard in the face with all my might. One slap wasn't enough, I landed several more. Jane. Ethan was furious but powerless to retaliate. I suppressed my anger. How dare you speak of love? Sending me to other men is love, letting your friends insult me is love, and two-timing is love? You don't love me. You just realized you're crippled, and your ideal girl won't love you anymore. You just want someone who would give you their all. Do you, someone so selfish, deserve to speak of love? After that day, Ethan never came to find me again. My life got better and better. Occasionally, people would mention Ethan, saying how poorly he was doing. I heard that in front of Ethan's mother, Lily treated him decently, but behind the scenes, she abused him for some unknown reason. Ethan silently endured it. I guessed he really loved Lily. Daisy called me a few times, treating me like a confidant. That Lily, I used to think she was kind and gentle, but she's got such a black heart. Jane, if only you had married my cousin instead. I smiled. Don't say that. Ethan and I are siblings. Daisy pouted on the other end, but you're not real siblings. Auntie just raised you for a few years, you're not even on the household register. Jane, maybe you should crash the wedding. It's next month. Hearing this, my eyelid twitched. In a daze, I remembered that before Ethan and I got married, Daisy wasn't so hostile towards me. After we married, she suddenly changed, getting closer to Lily. Now that Lily was marrying Ethan, could it be? I casually asked, Daisy, you don't like? Before I could finish, she vehemently denied it. No way, how could I like my cousin? There was a brief silence, then Daisy hesitated. All right, maybe a little, but he's my cousin, it's impossible for us. So, I'm looking for a good sister-in-law for him. Jane, you really don't consider my brother? I laughed it off, but secretly saved the recording. I'll think about it. Daisy cheered excitedly. A month later, I showed up at the wedding. When I arrived, Ethan was being pushed out by Lily to greet the guests. Ethan seemed embarrassed and gritted his teeth. Do you really have to drag me out here? Lily slapped the back of his head. Another word and I'll tear your mouth apart. I couldn't believe their relationship had deteriorated so much. To say they could still get married, it's thanks to Ethan's mom wanting to torture Lily. When Ethan was healthy, she would have never let someone from Lily's background near her son. But now Ethan's crippled, and families of equal status wouldn't want their daughters marrying him. Ethan's mom originally wanted me as her daughter-in-law, but Ethan insisted on being with Lily a few months ago, so she couldn't face asking me to take Ethan back. Lily's family loved money, so Ethan's mom simply gave them $300,000, buying Lily for Ethan. They happily handed over Lily's household register after getting the money. At first, Lily was willing to half-heartedly take care of Ethan for the money. After being tricked into marriage, she found out she was bought out by Ethan's family, and Ethan's mom wouldn't give her a penny more. Divorce? No way. Weren't they in love? Then lock it in. Ethan saw me. He looked at me from a distance, his eyes lingering on my legs with longing. Ethan's mom never showed up. She was openly humiliating Lily. I didn't understand, had Ethan's family given up on him too? Daisy at the family table noticed me and secretly gave me an okay gesture. It was her plan to release the memories of Ethan and me during the wedding. In her words, Ethan had feelings for me. He'd regret it and maybe even call off the wedding. This could ruin the wedding and humiliate Lily the most. But she didn't mention it would also put me in a tough spot. Her scheme was too loud, so I had to quietly make some adjustments. Isn't this Ethan's little sidekick? A familiar voice. I turned to see one of Ethan's old buddies who used to make things difficult for me. Judging by your eyes, you're still hung up on the cripple, huh? You got some special kink or what? His words were rude, to me and to Ethan. Howard. If you're not here for the meal, get out. Ethan appeared beside me, scolding his former friend. Howard sneered at us, you still think you're something. Look at you, crippled. I pity you. Let me tell you, your dad has already taken your 12-year-old brother home. I was surprised Ethan had a half-brother. Seems like Ethan was abandoned by his father, as for Ethan's mother. Howard, get out of here. Ethan was on the edge of fury, but he couldn't get up to hit him. Instead of leaving, Howard sat down more casually. Get out. Ethan, what are you causing now? Lily rushed over, annoyed. She kicked Ethan's crippled leg, making a scene again today, aren't you? Lily started yelling and hitting Ethan again. Give Ethan some face outside, will ya? Howard laughed. Besides, the ex is here, too. He said, turning his gaze toward me. I didn't want to stir up trouble right now, but Howard is so annoying in both this life and the last. I grabbed the red wine on the table and splashed it right at him. As he looked at me in shock, I warned him, what you say about Ethan is your business, but keep your mouth clean when it comes to me. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to tell Ethan's family about your shady dealings. In my last life, Howard loved introducing all kinds of girls to bosses with twisted preferences. That boss was someone he arranged to do a favor for Ethan. When Howard heard me mention that guy, he immediately behaved like a scared quail Jane. Ethan choked as he called my name. I'm sorry. I really didn't know life would be like this after the accident. The big screen suddenly started playing, interrupting Ethan's apology. I saw Daisy stand up excitedly. Jane, why don't you just crash the wedding? It's next month. Daisy, you wouldn't be into him, right? No way, how could I like my cousin? Well, maybe a little, but he's my cousin. It's impossible for us. That's why I want to find him a good wife. There was no video playing on the screen, but our conversation was clearly broadcasted to everyone. This already chaotic wedding turned even more chaotic. Daisy screamed to turn off the screen. Lily rushed forward and started beating her up. The people around were stunned and could barely hold her back. I clicked my tongue in surprise. Of course, a girl raised in a family that values boys over girls wouldn't be a weak little flower. I found it ironic, thinking back to our previous serene chat in the restaurant, so peaceful and content amidst the chaos. I quietly left the scene, with Ethan calling my name behind me. I heard about what happened next from others. Daisy's hidden feelings were exposed, causing her parents to have a big argument with her uncle. They thought Ethan must have crossed a line, leading Daisy to develop inappropriate feelings. Ethan's uncle, already disappointed in him, completely gave up on him now. Even Ethan's mom reluctantly abandoned her son. Thankfully, the mistress had died early on. They could still treat the illegitimate son as their own and grow close to him. Lily was half crazed by now. Her reputation was ruined, and the term shrew stuck. She wanted a divorce, but Ethan's family wouldn't let her go. They thought losing their son was all her fault. If she hadn't messed with Ethan's mind, he and I would have ended up together. Given my feelings for Ethan, how could I not have saved him in that accident? I would have taken his place, and he would have married me. Such a move would have brought them good reputation. His family would have gladly accepted that. Their schemes thoroughly killed off any remaining sympathy I had for them. 6 months later, Ethan committed suicide, taking Lily with him. I heard that Lily had secretly connected Ethan to Howard, who introduced him to an old man with special fetishes. Afterwards, Ethan lost his mind upon waking up. He cried, saying he realized his mistakes, and cursed Lily, wishing her a terrible death. Finally, in his delusion, he said that given another chance, he would choose Jane without hesitation. He hired people to sneak into his house, replacing Lily's supplements with sleeping pills. When Lily fell asleep, he set the house on fire, burning them both alive. After Ethan's death, I received a letter from him. It was probably just some meaningless apology. I didn't even open the envelope and threw it straight into the trash another chance. No way. God doesn't give wicked people another chance. Even if it did, no matter how many times things repeated, I wouldn't waver for him again. I have clear life goals now, and I'll only become a better version of myself.